Peace friends, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, welcome to The Vibes. My name is Crystal, and at this channel we talk about all things creative. And if you've been here before, you might notice that I'm in a different environment, new things are going on, new space. Recently just moved to a different part of Philadelphia. Shout out to West Philly if you are watching this video. But I'm excited to bring you guys a part of this journey and to grow in a new space and to evolve as a person, and to experience a different part of the city in a different way that I haven't before. So enough about that. Today's video is going to be a develop with me type video. This is not a tutorial because there's tons of tutorials already out there, but I kind of just wanted to share kind of my process and how I go through developing to scanning to like the final product. So yeah, stay tuned. Fun things. So with anything, the first step is to gather your materials. So here I'm getting, the Paterson tank and all the resources that I use, to prepare. For this batch of development, I'll be using Science Still 2-bath process, which is pretty easy because it only uses 2 chemicals. Previously, I've used Unicolor, which has a 3-step process, but I don't mind this one. Today, I'll be developing 2 rolls of film. The first will be Fuji 200 and the second is the Kodak Portra 800. So pretty much get everything together and then you throw it in the bag. Literally throw it in the bag. Just throw it in the bag. Sorry, I couldn't help it. But anyways, so once all the materials have been put into the bag, you are now ready for the next step, which is the opening of the film canisters. This by far is probably the hardest and most intimidating step. However, with practice, you will be able to do this with ease. Be sure to practice with film that you don't quite care about before doing it or attempting to do it with film that you do care about. And once all of that is done, you're ready to go for the easier steps and the most rewarding part, which is the developing. To get started, I have to warm the chemicals up, which I like to do in the sink under running hot water. And then when I'm ready, I start with the developer. And then I agitate. For both chemicals, you will have to agitate, and you follow the instructions that come with the chemicals, which is nice because you will have instructions guiding you the whole way through. You do not have to memorize each step. And then once you're done with the developer, you pour in the almighty Blix. And then agitate some more. And then once you're done, you pour the Blix back into its own container as well, which is the beautiful thing about developing film is when you buy the chemicals, you often have the batch for at least 12 to 24 rolls. I mean, I've heard people stretching chemicals for even up to 50 rolls. But once the Blix is completed, you can now expose your negatives to light, which is what I'm doing here, and you have to rinse it to make sure that you're getting all the chemicals from the developer to the Blix off your negatives, because you don't want them drying with irregular streaks or whatever. We don't want none of that. So as you can see, I can see some of my frames now, which is nice. It's always good to be able to see the frames because I'm like, great, I did not fuck this up. And then you hang it to dry. For me, I just used a thumbtack and 2 binder clips, one at the top and one at the bottom, which helps it to not curl up, and it pretty much dries straight. Once the film is dry, you can now proceed to cut them and put them into the archival sheets that most people who have film often buy, which helps to protect the negatives. And these negatives are here to stay forever. So if I decide tomorrow that I want to rescan these and make them bigger or do something different, the negatives are here to stay. So it's really important that you take care of them, which is why I'm wearing a glove so I don't get any fingerprints of mine on them as I'm cutting. And I gotta say, there's something so mind, body, spirit about the entire process of developing film that I really find rewarding. I mean, from going out and making the photos to then forgetting what is on the film roll to developing it and then seeing it, it's just really exciting for me. And a pretty cool trick, yes, I am listening to Burna Boy, but a cool little trick that I learned from Matt Day is using your phone to view the negatives. This is something I like to do to kind of remind myself on what exactly is on this roll of film. So once you've cut all your negatives to the satisfaction that you want, you are now ready to scan them. I use the Epson V550 to scan all my negatives. I don't mind it at all. I know they have better versions, which if you would like, you can happily indulge in. But this gets the job done for me. If I do need professional scans, I usually just go to a film store and ask them for better scans. I think for the time being, scanning here allows me to, be able to share them on social media, YouTube videos, etc. But for more like professional stuff, I can definitely go get them professionally scanned. What you see me doing here is blowing off the dust particles. This is imperative because you don't want any hairline looking things in your scans, because scanners are pretty sensitive to dust and will pick that up. And then I use the software that comes with the Epson scanner to scan all my negatives. And that is pretty much the process from start to finish. Yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you saw something that was pretty dope. It's always a pleasure to share my craft and what I love to do with others. So thank you for sharing your energy. Thank you for being a part of my community. Stay tuned to the end to see the photos that were created from this batch of development. And see you in the next video. Peace.